Hello, Red Brick Productions here with another LEGO review. Today I have the LEGO Galaxy Explorer Remake set. This is a 90 years of play anniversary set, and I'm so excited that I have this. The set number is 10497. It has 1,254 pieces, 4 minifigures, 1 buildable robot. And without further ado, let's take a look at this thing. I don't even know where to begin with this. There are so many things to unpack. I think the biggest thing though is the design of the ship. It is so sleek. I love how they designed this rim right here, which looks amazing. It uses a lot of advanced building techniques. I think the coolest building technique, though, is how they built this arrow. This is a brick-built arrow, where in the original Galaxy Explorer ship, it is a sticker. So that is a really cool detail. It just shows that LEGO has more power to build bigger and cooler things. And they've grown since then. They also used buckets here for this one piece. They could have used a singular piece, but they needed to up it a bit. And so they used these buckets, which look super cool. The engines look super cool with the red and the white right there. Oh, those look amazing. Over here, you got another arrow and one of those bucket sirens. And I was reading it through it. They've definitely improved some of their things. They learned that in the back is usually green and in the front is red, so they implement that in their design instead of having green on one side, red on the other side, because it makes it more accurate, which I think is cool. But my favorite part has to be the underside. Look at this. This has barely any color showing. I mean, there are certainly some under here, but the coolest part is so all of this landing goes down like that. Look at that. Now it lays completely flat on the ground, and that is so awesome. They used the Super Mario base plates and stuff like that to get this landing skiff, and it's super easy to take these out. But this just has such a sleek underside. I love how that turned out. However, I think we should take a look at the interior now. So I've removed the 4 spacemen, and inside here you have a lot of space. You have obviously the 4 seats where each spaceman has enough room for them to sit. You have 2 steering wheels here, but lots of really cool prints. So we got this middle controller of the spaceship. You got one right here and some right here, which look like remakes of classic prints. And those look super cool. This up here is a print, and the LL928 is a print as well. You even got some prints on these slopes back there. You can kind of see them. But yeah, that looks super cool, and that's just the control area. On this side, you could lift up this panel, and this has a lot more stuff. There are 2 clear coffee cups in there. They were placed down, and then I guess they were falling off. But that's okay. They go to something else that you'll see later. There are still lots of prints in here, with a print here, here, and here. Looking super cool. And even on the other side, there are prints on the other side there. And you even got 2 prints right here. Which this one's super cool because I believe that's a Bionicle reference, where it's like those canisters that Bionicles used to be in. It looks like one of the spacemen found it and it's a recording, which is super cool. And there is access. It's not easy access, but to get from the sitting area to over here, because there is trying to see how I can do this. I have to take off this pole. I don't know. Can you see my finger in there? Yeah, there you go. There is room for you to get in there. Now, it's not easy, but it is suggested room, which is super awesome that LEGO did that. Like, they didn't need to, but that's awesome. Now, the other thing in here are these. These are little beds, which you might be wondering, well, why are they so weird looking? Well, that's because there's a little indent in them for the spacemen to have their backpacks in there while still able to rest. And there are 2 of them, and that is just such a fun little detail. Like, LEGO didn't need to do that, but they totally did, and that is super awesome how they did that. And I'm actually really pumped about that. Like, that is so cool. It's such a little detail. Now, there's some other things I want to get to on the sides before I get into the trunk, which, yes, there is a trunk, and the main one is the engines actually pop off. And you might be wondering, well, why? Well, if you flip them over and put a spaceman on there, these little levers flick up, and boom! You have a little space pod, which these spacemen... Sorry the video got cut off there, I got a call. But there is enough, there's this engine on the other side also pops up to reveal another one of those flying spaceship, which is super cool. And yeah, it just looks amazing. I love how this turned out, and I love that they included that. It's just such a fun detail. Like, what? They didn't need to do that, but Lego just did it, and I love how they do that. It's just a fun little thing that, like, if you're building it and you're playing with it, you totally get to do that, and it's just an extra thing that they didn't need to do. Another thing here is you have two little space blasters in there. One's red, one's green. They just use... Why won't they come out? Oh, there we go. They just use those little pieces, and yeah, they're pretty cool. I like that they do that. And these are accessible from the inside, technically speaking, not really, but you could use it to like transport space rocks or other things. And on the other side, they have one to, you know, you can transport things inside the spaceship, which is a black space tank. And you might be wondering, well, what's that a reference to? I think it's a reference to Blacktron, but that is super cool. There are no black spacemen in this set, just red and white ones. Now, this is the coolest part, which is the trunk. If I open this up, these swing open to reveal a robot on a spaceship. We'll take a look at this robot later, but yeah, there is a little car, which again, we'll take a look at this later, but there's a super cool play feature here. So if you push this down, it's just like a little platform underneath the spaceship. That's cool, lifts down. However, there's this ramp here, which you can see the tires are moving on that. And when it pops down, the little truck moves, which is such a cool little feature that, oh my, I was not expecting this. This was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen, because it's like, I don't know, I just love it. You got this ramp here, and you can even put a space, where did they go? You can put a spaceman here. Why are you doing that? Okay, you can put a spaceman here, and even though the spaceman's on it, oh, well, that didn't really prove it. It still works, trust me. Here, let me try it again. Let me try this one more time, and then I'll be done. Well, it got stuck. However, it does work where the spaceman can get out, which is super cool. But the coolest thing I think that Lego included is this. This is a sliding airlock door, which leads to the inside, and it's at a slant. This was a really crazy building technique, actually. This was so fun to make, and I just loved it. Over here, you have a wrench. You know, the basic Lego wrench. I'm trying to show you. And then over here, you have a walkie-talkie, which those are the two tools they used in the original spaceship, which is why they included them. But this is just such a cool set. Like, what? I'm just enjoying every second of this. I enjoyed building this. But let's take a look at the figures. Oh, I forgot to say one last thing. There is enough room for the spaceman to stand in there with this close, which is awesome. Not enough room for them to stand up in here. Not that I know of. Let me just try it real quick. There is enough room for them to sit, obviously, but maybe this back row might have... Yeah, no, probably not. Kind of, but it's open. So yeah, there's enough standing room in the back, but enough sitting room in the front. So here is the first minifigure, and we actually do get two of these included in the set. Both of them are the exact same, but I love that Lego included the classic smile right there. And this is an updated helmet so that they don't crack. You know, like Benny in the Lego movie, how he has a cracked helmet. That's because the plastic mold that they used back in the day would break constantly. But this is an updated style of helmet. The air tanks are good. There's no back torso printing, just front torso printing. And overall, a super cool figure. So for the next minifigure, we also get two of. It's the red spaceman. The exact same thing as the white one, just in red. And it's super cool. And I'm glad that Lego went with a pretty similar color scheme with two white and two red. I think it just makes it seem more uniform. And yeah, I think it was just a good choice on their part. I didn't think it needed crazy minifigures. I think this is perfectly fine. And lastly, here's this robot. There's a print right there. And this is Mr. Jacoby. My girlfriend and I named him based on Mr. Jacoby from Newsies, who owns the restaurant, because we were doing Newsies in our school play at the time. And yeah, you just got the coffee cups, which I don't know why they're included. I think it's more just because all like Lego sets had coffee cups at one point. Not all, but you know, a lot of them did. And this is just a really cool little robot build. I don't know, it's just fun. And the robot can sit in the car, which is awesome. Speaking of the car, this is the car, and I don't know if Lego could have gotten more simpler than this. This is a literal, like, not 4 stud wide, probably like 6 stud wide because of these wheels, you know? Because there's 2 right there, there's 1 there, and another one would be there. So yeah, definitely a 6 stud wide vehicle, but there's a lot of like use for this. You know, you can have one minifigure back here and then another on the back. You know, there's just a lot of space for figures to move around and stuff. There's a light there, and yeah, this is just a great vehicle. It fits in the trunk of the Explorer, which is just unheard of, you know, well, not unheard of, but just awesome. And yeah, I think Lego did, a really good job with this little vehicle. Anyway, let's take, I'm burping. Let's take a look at the packaging and then my final. Look at this box. This is glorious. It pays homage to the old classic Lego with the yellow, which is just awesome, and the banner right there. This is so cool. And then on this side, of course, you have all the cool details. They did have push tabs, which is annoying, but, you know, I got around it, thankfully, because I did not want to ruin this box, which is, unfortunately, Walmart sent it to me a little ruined. But that's okay. Overall, this just looks amazing. This is just so cool. I love the look of this. I know I didn't grow up with classic space, and it's a lot more nostalgic to others, but just having this makes me feel so special. Oh, it's so cool. So here are the instructions, and they didn't use the new type of instructions where they use like a render, which I'm actually pretty glad about. This looks pretty, like, really good. In the inside, they give you like little details about, there's the original that they based it off of, and they did a really good job, you know, updating this one. Super cool. They give you a little history of space figures and stuff like that. See, and you even have 2014 with Benny and the exosuit, and then in 2019 with the Benny, Lenny, Jenny. That's awesome. And then the orange figure, and then that CMF minifigure, and then today. And even some of the old ones. Look at those ones. Wow. This is just super cool. Of course, you have 2 alternate builds. Jang Brick does a really good review on these. So you can build some alternate builds if you break this one. And yeah, they're really good. They're not bad. I'll pin Jang Brick's video on these because they're really good stuff. He does a really good video on it. On the back, of course, it tells you the piece count, and then the like fancy adult win, and then you have the little logo on the back. That just looks so cool. Anyway, that's it for the instructions. Now let's take a look at the leftover pieces. For such a large set, there are not a lot of pieces in this. Like, just looking at this, there were not a lot of leftover pieces. This is all of them. I do like getting the little levers in the different colors, which is pretty cool. And this is just an interesting piece, you know. But yeah, that's it for the leftover pieces. You can kind of see them. Just a lot of studs. And actually, this, where did it go? This pin in red is pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for the leftover pieces. Now let's take a look at my final verdict. So for my final verdict, this is a wonderful set. And it's not bad for the price either. It's $100 on Lego Shop, but if you go to Walmart, I found it for $75, which is just crazy. But this is a great build. And even for $100, I think there's a lot of good stuff here. Not only do you have a lot of sitting room and play value in the inside with all the different controls, the beds, the little containers on the outside, you also have like a little garage back here with an airlock and a really cool ramp feature, which is awesome. You get a great selection of minifigures. I'm glad that they went with the classic smile and a really cool robot, which wasn't needed, but also can fit in here if you put the robot either there or on the car and put it in the trunk. Really cool stuff. The build was great. Granted, I did build it with my girlfriend, so it made it a little more special, but it was just a good build. Like, the experience was fun. It was really satisfying, especially when putting on all these plates. Like, oh, that was so good. There's a lot of really fun stuff with this. It's just a good build. And there's so much play value. I think Lego really nailed it with this one. I couldn't ask for anything better. And I like that there are alternate builds. Not like too big, but like smaller versions of this spaceship and, you know, paying homage to other spaceships. Which I think is like old Lego where they would have alternate builds on the back of what you can do, you know? And I think that's really cool. This is a great display set, a great play set. Overall, a wonderful set. If you like what you see, I would recommend getting it if you can. This is an amazing set. I have no regrets. This is one of the coolest Lego sets I think I own. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts about this set in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out. Bye.